we as a property tax group, we're here to help you, and we're here to make your jobs easier. We're not necessarily here over, looking down on you, trying to tell you what to do. We're just here to help and make your jobs easier. And one of the ways Dave said was by the legislative website. This is it. Dave was talking about it. If you wanted to go to the code, you can go to a title chapter search. And in property tax, we deal mainly with Title 59, revenue and taxation. And here it lists all the different chapters within that. And you can go in there and pick whatever you're interested in or whatever you're looking for. Property taxes, chapter 2. So that's mainly where we deal with a lot of our stuff is 59-2. And you can go in there and then search for different things. Some people who are interested in exemptions, deferrals, and abatements, Part 11, farmland, Part 5. So you can go in there, and Dave says he likes to go in there, pick something, copy and paste, and that makes sure that you're not quoting wrong or sending an email to somebody with the wrong information. So the Utah State Legislative website is a good tool for you to use. I put together a flow chart in yours, should be the second page. Right there at the top left has the website for the legislative page. And at the top of that we have the Utah State Tax Commission. Now within the Utah State Tax Commission in our building we have several different groups. We have income tax, property tax, motor vehicle, and at the top up here, if you watch the cursor, you have each individual website within the tax commission. Each group has their own website, and you'll see here the property tax. If you click on that, that takes you directly to the property tax website. If you're on the Utah State Tax Commission website, there's a few things that might be of interest. Under commission, we have rules and decisions. If you were looking for administrative rules, you hover down, click on administrative rules, and this pulls up all the different rules for the tax commission. Right down here at the bottom, R884-24P, that is our property tax rules. You can click to that, and that will pull up PDFs for each individual rule. You can scroll down, look for the different areas that you're interested in. Also on this website, you can appeals. If you're looking for centrally assessed appeals, you can find those on the tax commission website by hovering over appeals and going down to centrally assessed. So if we were to click on property tax, we can get to our property tax website. And on this flow chart, it kind of just goes through basically what the website is. And at the property tax division, we have our different groups. We have our personal property group, our centrally assessed group, our real property group, and our tax rate group. For those of you who don't know personal property, that is the manager of that group is Herb Jenkins. Centrally assessed, Paul Brettauer, Monty Roberts, and Lucas Hendrickson are in charge of the centrally assessed. Real property, you have Gerald Osborne, and then our tax rate group, which is us and Jennifer Condi. Most of you are familiar with that name. But on this page, we've tried to make it easier for you. A prime example is I got an email yesterday from Marilyn, and she asked me, what do I do after I get the PT90? And I said, what the heck is the PT90? Like, here she is emailing me, I'm supposed to know what to do, and I don't know what the PT90 is. So this morning when I got into the office, because I wasn't there yesterday, I went in, I hovered over information, came down here to forms. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay. I started with standard of practice forms. So within our standards of practice that Dave showed you, there's forms for each standard. Board of Equalization, exemptions. So I was hovering down, just scrolling, trying to find the PT90. Assessment roll right there, PT90. You were. So I had to pull, I didn't know, so I pulled it up, and who knows what the PT90 is? Pat, you use the PT90?
Yeah. It's your certification that your assessment roll is posted to the best of your knowledge.
And that you delivered it to the auditor.
Pardon?
And that you delivered it to the auditor? Yeah, so when they have their final numbers, which were, the rolls were closed on May 22nd. And then, so the assessor then delivers those to the auditor with this signed statement saying that this has been done. So that helps clarify that information, and so me and Marilyn can talk later on, either today or tomorrow, and try and figure out what we're going to do after the PT90. But even, you know, even this website's useful for me when there's just so many forms and so much information within property tax that I've, you know, it takes a long time to learn it. So if we go back to the top, go to the home page. Something that we've really been stressing lately is over here on the right, the property tax guide property tax quick reference guide. Us as the standards group, we're also just odds and ends. We get a lot of phone calls with pretty simple questions, and we've tried to take some of those areas with simple questions and try to put them into quick reference sheets. And we've put these over here on the right so that they're easy to get to. One of them would be the property tax calendar that's in your book. It's an easy way to just hurry and pull that up. One thing that we do get a lot of questions on is truth in taxation. Any of you know if your entities or county are going through property tax increases this year? Good, that makes my job a lot easier. But we get phone calls and people are already saying, okay, we're most likely going to go through a property tax increase this summer. What do we need to do? And there's some basic steps that need to be followed. Some of them, you know, every situation is a little bit different, but there's basic steps that have to be followed. So you can come down here on the right and you have a calendar year entity and a fiscal year entity. And so you can click on that, and here are the easy steps to take when going through that. So we've put together these quick reference sheets to hopefully keep you from feeling like you need to call us. You're always welcome to. But if you feel like, you know what, I'm always bugging them, or there's got to be an easy answer, this is where some of those answers are. So these quick reference guides, if there's ever something, just like Ruth Ann, like if there's something in the standards you want in there, you can call us. If there's something that you feel like we could put together a quick reference sheet for, that's what we're here for. If there's something on the website that's not working right, that's what we're here for, is to try and get that up and running to make your jobs easier.
Well, Josh, we just changed our the look of our web page, and I've noticed that when I go in, some of the links aren't established. And so if you go into our website and you see a link that's not established or something's not correct, give us a call so we can get that straightened out. It's quite a job when you change your whole web page to get everything working correctly again. So
Yeah, we were doing our training in Vernal a couple weeks ago, and the day we were doing our training was the day they put up the new website. So like half the links weren't working, and I'm sitting here trying to tell people how great it is, and it wasn't working. And even some of the links from Uinta's website were linked to our website, and they weren't working. But by the end of the day, we called, we had some of those problems fixed. Our Rob Yor is our computer guy, and he's really quick and on top of it. If you ever want to know anything about centrally assessed, this is where you would go, hover down over centrally assessed. You can find different appeals, recently resolved appeals. It's in alphabetical order. So if you know of a company that's in your county and you want to find out what's going on with the appeal, if it's been finished yet, you can go in here and look. It's a good question. Some of these are as old as 2007. Did you see it 2006? So, but also if you need information, you call the centrally assessed group and they should be able to look up any appeals for you. A big thing is the capitalization rate study. This is pretty big. I'll go over this a little bit later when I'm talking about centrally assessed. Personal property, Dave's going to talk a little bit about personal property later today, but the valuation guide is a very important thing on the website. Go to valuation guide, guidelines right there, and then when you get over here on the right, this has the different schedules for each year. You can click on that, and this will bring up each individual category. Personal property is put into different categories, and then percent tables are put together so that because they depreciate every year. So you can go in here and look at the different percents, and you can go back and find different years, and it's very useful. Real property, we have county reps. If you wanted to know Anything? Links broken? About the county reps, we have county reps that go to your counties and are there to help you out. They do the sales ratio studies, so that is also posted right down here underneath their area. If you want to know anything about farmland assessment. Tax rates, this is what we love to talk about. If you forget that we have our certified tax rate system, if you ever forget the website for that, you can come over here, click on, hover over tax rates and click on certified tax rate system, and that will pull up our site. Also tax rate forms. If you ever wanted to look at any tax rates or budgets for a given year, you can click on that. And Beaver's the lucky one because they're alphabetical, so whenever we pull up anything, we get to see their information right away. Does that sound good, Ginger? You like that? We'll just pick on you. So, but you can see it pulls down their budgets, their tax rates, and the approved budget that they went through last year. And you can, I mean, this has every county, Castle Valley Town, Moab. Moab is one of those places that we were talking about. Dave was saying that they don't have to levy a property tax because they have so much tourism that they just do income tax or in sales tax. So they benefit from that. So if any of you want to raise the sales taxes and get rid of that, you can look into that. Information, if you go back to our homepage, if you hover over information, there's a bunch of random things here. You can if you want to contact anybody within the property tax group, click on that, go down to the bottom, and you have the different groups. You have your administration part, but then your centrally assessed, personal, real, tax rate group. There's our phone numbers. Mine's on there right. Back over on information, if you go up to the top. Training is big. I know the link's broken right now, but the 2015 training schedule, I know Pat and some of the assessors and those in the assessor's office use this quite regularly because they have to take classes in order to get certified, to become a certified appraisers. So they go on there and they find the different classes that we offer. And even if you're not in the assessor's group, there's classes in there that might be of interest, whether it's the BOE or the Greenbelt or just learning about anything within property tax, and you can get a whole week's course usually taught by Ron Smith. And those are in there. We have our standards of practice. Dave had a slide about that. You can find that in information under standards of practice. And you can click and find anything you want to know about our standards. And then also you have our forms where we were talking about finding the PT90, our standard forms, our tax rate forms. Right now, when we're collecting information from the auditors mainly, we have our PT700s, which have to do with the CDRAs. We like to collect those. Right now, we're in the business of collecting the 697, which is the values that the assessor has come up with last week. So those forms can be found here. Most of it is done electronically now, but you can find a paper form here. If you're ever looking for the annual report, you hover down, go to report and statistics. It's very sensitive. We're always a year behind. As soon as this tax rate season's over with next month, we'll start working on getting the 2014 annual report done. But the annual report is of all the counties and all the statistics and anything you ever wanted to know about property tax in Utah statistically. Data, charts. It's a very lengthy 50-page document that Terry Chittister helps put together for us. But I hope this flow chart will help you. Instead of having to worry about going to the website, you can go to this flow chart. You can see if there's any information. I kind of bolded some of the areas that people go to a lot. If there's anything of any interest ever that you guys want us to put on that website, please let us know. Is there any questions regarding the website, any information, who you would talk to if you're dealing with property tax?